Welcome to Catherine Biro Show. I am especially grateful for today's guest. She has an incredible story to share with you, and let me introduce her first. Ambreen is a psychologist and founder of Psychology Talks. She is passionate about helping people understand the importance of psychology in their daily lives. 20 years ago, she embarked on a journey to write her book. She accumulated knowledge from observation, studying different fields, and studied thousands of lives to make her work more credible and relatable. She is passionate about understanding the human psyche and helping others gain insights into how the mind works to lead a successful life. She is actively spreading awareness and helping people to deal with mental health issues through her counseling, writing, and live shows. She believes that lives can be transformed by sharing knowledge. She is on the mission to help humanity and eliminate suffering. Thank you so much for joining me today and being my guest.
Yeah, thank you so much, Catherine, for inviting me to the show. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure and honor. I love your work. I love everything you do, and I would like my audience to know a little bit more about you. Would you like to share your story and actually what happened before you wrote your book? And tell us a
Yeah,
little bit about the book, of course.
sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, I decided to write about this book 20 years ago, but of course, there's a story behind it that why I actually wrote this book. At like when I was young, basically, so my father actually lost a job, and then we faced some financial instability, and then of course we went to when we went through the timings that we were not very financially stable, and we went through some hard time, and like having seen the good times and then going through the bad times made me really depressed. And since like I was only in the college, I thought that I may not be able to do my master's, or I won't be able to complete or accomplish my goals. And to me, that at that point in time, I thought that life will end for me. So at that point in time, I went through a serious depression, and I thought that life can never get better, and because we are stuck in that situation, and I had serious suicidal thoughts at that time. But then I realized that I think that life can be better, and I think that we can change the circumstances around us, and it's not the end of the life. And then when I realized that, I thought that I need to change my thinking. It's not there something that life has come to an end. It's something that I am unable to see the opportunities there in front of me. And at that point in time, I thought that it's the mindset I need to change. It's the thinking that I need to change. And I went through this change in thinking, the transformation in my thought process. And then I realized that, life is beautiful. It's not as I thought it was. And when I realized that, I thought that, people need to know that people need to know that, we have something in our control, and we can change our lives. But as at that point in time, I was so young, and like this concept is quite philosophical and related to some really like people who are learned, knowledgeable. And I thought that, like if it coming from me, people won't believe me and wouldn't have that much of the credibility. And to be honest, at that point in time, of course, I didn't have that rich experience or knowledge. And so at that point in time, I set myself a goal, a target for 20 years, and I decided that I'll write the book about this in 20 years. There's another reason that why I gave myself 20 years is because at that point in time, I of course didn't have that much resources. I didn't know how to write a book. I didn't know what to do with this. I mean, how would I publish and whatever. So I thought that I need to collect all this information as well. The other reason was like coming from a background from an Eastern culture where there's a lot of pressure on women to settle themselves in the personal life, like, getting married, having kids, because there's a lot of societal pressure. And and people actually think that the only goal a woman can have is to get married and produce kids. So to be honest, I thought that, I need to uh, uh, do this as well, and then start working on my goal. So I thought that all of this will require 20 years. So that's why I gave myself 20 years, where I thought that, I
Mm.
will settle myself in personally, and then I'll settle myself professionally. I'll establish my career, and then I will write my book. So that's a very brief story about that how I got into writing book and why I wrote the book.
You're such a beautiful soul. You have such a lovely energy. And we spoke on several occasions, and I always enjoy talking to you. And I also bought
Likewise.
your book and I read it,
Thank
and it's
you.
such an amazing resource. Tell us a
Thank
little
you.
bit specifically about your book. The
Okay.
title, what do you cover? And we now know why, but
Mhm.
when we touch a life of one person, we're actually changing the lives of everyone around them. Do you
Absolutely.
even aware now when your book is live and every one of us who read it, you are actually touching our hearts and changing our lives? What do you think
Thank you.
about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's that is exactly the main objective of my writing this book, that, I need to tell people that they have something in control. Okay, like also give you a little bit of background to it, that, because as I shared in my book as well, that I have some sort of like psychic abilities, you can say, that I do get the clairvoyance, the vision about the future. And I have the family background, that like my father was a palmist and my uncle was a palmist. Even my maternal grandfather was a great palmist. So, like, people were into it. And of course, from there, I learned the palmistry and I got into it. And I started reading palms of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I actually read the palms, I used to predict the future also. I used to get the clairvoyance about the vision or something that's going to happen or not. And that actually bothered me a lot. And that's like why it happens always the same way as I predict, or if I have the vision. Like if it is meant to be, then what control do we have? So that question used to bother me a lot. That
Mm-hmm.
means, like, I used to think a lot about it. That what power do we have? Do we really have free will or not? So this book
Mm-hmm.
is all about that question, and I try to answer this question, that do we have free will or not? I cracked this code, I would say, and that's why I wrote this, the algorithm of life, that, uh, it's it's like free will we have, but it's a very little window we have
Mm-hmm.
to gain control over our lives, to use free will in a right manner.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't know how to use the free will, it is most likely that we follow the pattern
Mm-hmm.
that is given to us. It's like a lot of people are following the same pattern that has been given to them. That is the path that was chosen for them. It's
Mm-hmm.
they hardly have to do anything for this. They
Mm-hmm.
may say that they have free will. They say that they can choose whatever they want to, but
Mm-hmm.
if you look at their patterns, it's hardly that they have any control over their lives. Even if you see a lot of people are just going on an autopilot mode. They say, okay, whatever the society has given them, and they say society has tells them that, you need to get a degree, you need to get a career in that particular job field, they need to get married to a certain family to have that name, they need to have titles. So they are chasing all these things blindly, right? They think that they are choosing it. They think that they are choosing the career. They think that they are choosing the person who are marrying to. It's somehow not like that,
Mm-hmm.
There's something more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what exactly I've written, like how we can actually take the power.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, the here I would actually quote Shakespeare, which
Mhm.
I've also written, given the example in my book also, that, uh, Shakespeare said in his play, As You Like It, he said that, this world is a stage,
Mhm.
and all of us are just the character, and we come into the world, play
Mhm.
a role, and exit. And according to my concept, yes, this world is a stage,
Mhm.
and all of us are given certain role. Okay,
Mhm.
we come into this world, we have to play our part, and of course we exit.
Mhm.
And but here is my uh, concept is that, when we come into this world, we might have certain role
Mhm.
that was given by the destiny
Mhm.
or by the universe. But the thing is that we can choose to
Mhm.
take it or reject it and choose the role that we want. For
Mhm.
example, if maybe a person who is born in some slums of India,
Mhm.
or maybe of in any country which is poor, and they are very poor in country and they're not privileged enough, and the destiny that he has been given to is to, follow the same path, and he will follow, he's born in the poor family, he will remain in this condition, and he
Mhm.
will die in this condition, right?
Mhm.
But if the person decides or
Mhm.
chooses
Mhm.
that he does not want this destiny, he wants to be a person like Elon Musk.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm saying that yes, that is very much possible,
Mhm.
but there is a catch to it. Like, you have to work around it. You need to realize that if you stay in that track
Mhm.
or in that destiny, you will be following the same destiny. You need to not only change the mindset, you need to know that how these things work.
Mhm.
So that in that, like what I have given in the book also, like I said, that all these destinies are just like the train tracks. For
Mhm.
example, and we have been given on on certain track.
Mhm.
So if the person who is, let's say, not so privileged, who's on the track of the like less privileged track, he will be on the same track. He will have all the events, because all the events, everything is decided.
Mhm.
Nothing is like, I would say that nothing is not decided. As Shakespeare said, this world is a stage. It's a pre-written drama already. The Big Bang is meant to happen. Everything, even like if you can say this conversation is meant to happen
Mhm.
the same way exactly. But your soul and my soul decided to be in this role.
Mhm.
That's why we are witnessing this. So,
Mhm.
anyways, coming back to this point. So, if the person was on the track and less privileged and want to be on a track of someone like Elon Musk, so what he wants to do is he wants to have, first of all, have a purpose in life, that okay,
Mhm.
I don't want to be in this situation, I want to be in others. He needs to, if we remain on the same track, he will keep witnessing the same events. That is it. He needs to change the track,
Mhm.
because that's how but the here the problem is, because as I said, like, every role, everything is already written in this world. It is
Mhm.
meant to happen the same way. So the other person is already on the other track.
Uh-huh.
He has to push that person from the track to gain the destiny,
Uh-huh.
right? And that's the main problem, that how can he do that? And so the thing is that when the only power I said that we have to change the track is our thoughts.
Mhm.
Thoughts is the only thing, and it's like it's proven biologically. Neuroscience
Mhm.
also
Mhm.
proven that, and quantum physics also proven that
Mhm.
that our thoughts are, is energy, is a pure form of energy. Like
Mhm.
whenever we think, some sort of electrochemical reactions happen in our brain that
Mhm.
creates some energy, and that you can see that, that if you know the neuroplasticity that
Mhm.
changes the inner physiology of our brain by
Mhm.
thinking pattern. If
Mhm.
you're thinking positive, we are changing the physiology of our brain.
Mhm.
Now, quantum physics also proves that when we produce such positive energy, when we produce
Mhm.
any energy,
Mhm.
it creates certain frequency,
Mhm.
and that frequency sends the signal in the universe and creates entanglement. That
Mhm.
is called quantum entanglement.
Mhm.
So thoughts have the power to actually not only change the physiology of the brain, but also have the power to change the surrounding, to
Mhm.
grab, to attract the events in our life.
Mhm.
So our thoughts become the magnet which
Mhm.
actually attract all the events that maybe is meant to be happen in someone else's destiny, which we want, and we grab this. If the other person on that track has already realized the purpose, you won't be able to push him from the track. But if that person has not realized the purpose, it's easy to push them from the track and then take that destiny for yourself. And you must have witnessed that once you decide about something, you start meeting people from that, from like it's like a miracles, like you start witnessing miracle, and you start meeting people who help you achieve your goal in life,
Mhm.
right? And and that's how it is. Like when you realize your purpose, you have to have that burning desire, the thoughts, your
Mhm.
repetitive thoughts, to attract the event, and then you see the events will come in your life as a miracle,
Mhm.
or it could be a misfortune also. I would just say that, oh, it's not always the miracle, but you need to trust the plan, that
Mhm.
if you have realized the purpose, if you have that burning desire,
Mhm.
then you will go there and you will actually somehow achieve the goal, because that's how this works.
Mhm.
So that's in short. i
Your
I
concept,
explained
your
this. Yeah.
concept is
Yeah.
truly interesting, and I
Yeah.
love the fact that you say the algorithm of life. You know that I was programmer and I think in algorithms.
Yeah.
And actually, in my book, I also have
Yeah.
algorithms. But what is
Wow.
beautiful is that I am aware of my purpose. I became aware after certain things happened in my life. So my own awakening set me from one path, which was completely different, to the path that I'm now on,
Yeah.
where I am who I truly am, where I truly enjoy and help people, and I know how good it is to know your purpose. I know how excited you are every time you need to do something. I know how people just show up. Tonight, I'm going to an event with such people. What is your purpose?
Yes, a very good question. Thank you so much for asking me. And as I actually mentioned earlier, also, when I was going through that period of depression and suicidal thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I realized this, that we have certain things in our hand, and we can change, and that at that point in time, I decided, that's my mission, that, I need to share this information, knowledge with the people and help them guide, because what I have gone through, a lot of people are already going through. And
Mm-hmm.
if, my thoughts or my information, my knowledge can help them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my mission, is that, to help people, or to share knowledge and help them succeed in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly, and you can see like all around my activities, that I write articles about it. I conduct live shows and podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
and I recently also conducted that, like the challenge. And I also have the platform which I actually do, the like to save lives project. So
Mm-hmm.
it's my main mission, or my purpose is to share knowledge and to help people. That's it.
And that's so generous from you. And this is what I feel. I completely agree. Like, especially when the science comes on the stage and the quantum physics confirms something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
But it is true. Society set us in a kind of boxes, in a kind of, paths, and expects from us to do something. I mean, the
Yeah.
same with me. We live in a different part of the world, but it's not so different. Actually, I'm 40 years old, and I am a wife and a mother, and I follow that path. I finished college, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And then I realized, wait a minute, I just this is not me. And then is where the shift happened. But in these days, we are witnessing a lot of difficulties in the world, from a lot of different parts of the world, where people somewhere have, somewhere don't have free will at all. How do you view free will? And what is exactly free will for you?
Yeah, this is as I told you that it's free will. We have a very small window to actually play with or play our part or to take the control,
Mhm.
because I just say that free will remains an illusion of control, because a lot of people think that they have control, but actually they don't.
Mhm.
So in order to take that control back,
Mhm.
it's basically they need to realize their purpose again. I mean, they don't need to follow blindly that what is happening in the world. It's okay. Like, yes, recession is going to happen. Maybe there's inflation is going high, and there's lots of things which are not very positive indicator. But you need to see that people in those circumstances also flourish. And
Mm.
it's not always that that everyone dies during the recession time or inflation. There are people who actually flourish and they nurture their business and businesses, and those are the ones who know exactly what they want from their lives,
Mhm.
and what to do, what to expect from their own self.
Mhm.
So for me, or from like uh, my advice to them is that they need to find out their purpose. They need to find out, no matter whatever the situation is. As I also gave you the example, if the person might have born in the less privileged environment circumstances,
Mhm.
but the thing is they need to set a goal. They need to
Mhm.
have something in the mind, in their life, and
Mhm.
that goal or that purpose should not be coming from society. That purpose should come from within.
Exactly.
It's like it's I must tell you here that the purpose of life is not to earn money.
Mm.
This is the fake illusion that is
That's what
created by
humans
the
created.
society.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
created it. It's just not.
Exactly. It's because the society tells us that if you have certain amount of bank balance, if you have certain titles with you,
Mhm.
then you would be happy, you will be loved.
And that's not true.
No, it's not true at all.
Mhm.
It's okay not to have millions of dollars in the account, but it should be enough for your sustainability. I mean, you if you can
Mhm.
sustain your life, if you can manage your life with your
Mhm.
kids, you have good friend circle, if you have loved one in your life, that is enough for you. It's,
Yes.
oh, there is, you shouldn't go into the rat race.
Yes.
So first thing that you need to connect, I mean, whoever, like the people who are in the negative circumstances, or who are suffering in or who are like going through some adversities in life, they need to connect with themselves and find out the real meaning of the life for them,
Mhm.
not something that whatever the society has been telling them to.
This is so beautiful and so true. We, as a humanity, need to awaken, to increase the level of awareness and consciousness, to realize that life is much more than we can see and what people have created. I always say, all these buildings and computers and jobs, I mean, humans made that. That's
Yeah.
not the core, that's not the source of life. But when we connect to that source, then although we have a small window, it's enough. It's enough space for us to flourish and to grow. And this is why I love your mission. I am truly grateful to meet someone like you. And we share the same path. I'm helping people to do what they love because they spend like two-thirds of their lifetime working something. Okay, then
Yeah.
let's work in alignment with your purpose and really create the environment just like you described. I'm very, very, very grateful that you came. Now we're going
Thank
to
you.
have a little bit of fun. That second
Yeah.
part of the interview.
Yeah.
I will ask you a few quick questions. You have like uh 10 seconds just to answer me. It's very
Okay.
quick, and you will hear
Yeah.
this when the time is up.
Okay.
Okay, just a little pressure to spice it up.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
so just the title. What's your favorite book?
Okay, my favorite book, like I will have two, Think and Grow Rich,
Mm-hmm.
and it's and Paulo Coelho's Alchemist. These two are my all-time favorite books.
Wow. Like, yeah, we're definitely in alignment. I adore both
Yeah,
books, Napoleon
yeah,
Hill actually created something back then that he maybe didn't even know how he is going to impact the whole world. And
absolutely.
alchemists don't even like when I read it, I think I was in back in high school. I didn't understand anything.
I
And
know,
then
but
I
then
came
you
back.
realize, yes, yes.
Come on.
I can relate that, first time you read it, oh, it looks a bit childish, but then
Yeah, it's
when you
like
actually start reading, and then you say, oh my God, this is such a deep philosophy.
and
Yes.
I heard him actually saying that he didn't become famous because of Alchemist. No one actually understood it back then. But
Yeah,
later
I
on, people
know.
started
Yes.
reading all his books, so here he
Yeah.
is. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah, I like to read a lot, read books, and I also like to cook.
Oh,
Cooking and baking. I really like to do something different, trying different recipes, different cuisine. So that's really
that's
good.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The most lovely moments with my family is when I cook something for my
Yeah.
husband and my son, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this was
I
so."
know.
Actually, it happened yesterday. So yeah,
Wow.
it's such a beautiful feeling. My mom was a
Absolutely.
professional chef,
Wow.
and I learned a lot from her. I'm not cooking every day, but when I
Okay.
do, I really put
Oh,
all my
okay.
heart in, and I love it.
That's good.
I
Yeah,
love it.
that's lovely.
Let's see, what would be the third question? Okay,
Mhm.
now when we are facing a lot of challenging these days, it was COVID or it still is, I don't know. Here
Yeah.
it's like fine, but I see somewhere else it's not. The war is going on. A lot of things are
Mhm.
happening now in Iran, and all of that. It's just creating like a foggy picture of the world and how humanity really is. From a professional standpoint, as a psychologist, what would be your
Mhm.
message or what would be your advice to people how to look or not even look at these events and how to keep themselves and their families in their own bubble?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question
So
because
I will not ring a bell because
no,
I
that's
think
fine.
we will need more time.
Yes, it's a very good question. And I would say that if each one of us should
Mhm.
take the responsibility, the world will become a better place. We need to just start practicing kindness.
Yes,
Kindness to our own self and to others. First thing is like to our own self. We need to be kind to ourselves because if we are not kind to ourselves, we cannot be kind to the other people.
exactly.
So first of all, as I even said, that we need to connect with ourselves,
Mhm.
find out who we are, and then let go of our own inhibitions. Because unless we don't forgive ourselves, we won't forgive other people. So
Exactly.
that's very important that we need to be kind to ourselves and kind to other in every uh, possible way because
Mhm.
it should not only be for our immediate family. It should be
Mhm.
we try to find, I mean, uh, opportunity to practice this kindness. For example, if we go to a grocery store and if someone is unable to pick up something, just help them, just be there,
Mhm.
just smile to the other people because there's already so much frustration going on. You don't have to add something more to it. Try to be one person that just bring a little
Mhm.
in happiness in someone's life.
Mhm.
Just smile to other person, just lend them ear, to just listen to the problem. If someone is not, let's say, in touch with you, or maybe don't take it personally that okay, that person is ignoring you. Just give the message, say hi to them. You don't know what they're going through.
Exactly.
Maybe your
Exactly.
message could enlighten them.
Mhm.
Just give tell people some positive message about others. They like, you don't know what they are going through.
Mhm.
So I would just say, just spread happiness and take this responsibility. I mean, I think if we all should take the responsibility, seriously, the world will become better place.
I couldn't agree more. Be that small light,
Yes,
at least lighten up others, and the light will grow. And
absolutely.
that's truly how it is. But a lot of people need to realize, and as you said, connect with themselves. Find out who they truly are. and then live from that space, and not like living from all of these spaces around them and looking what other people. No, we have one
Mhm.
life. We need to cherish it and to do the best for us and for the people around. And kindness can do so much. We're not even aware.
Absolutely.
We're not even
Absolutely.
aware. And I think it's the wave that is actually growing, and that awareness in the world is growing, although we have all of these difficulties as a humanity we always had.
Mhm.
But a lot more people are coming out from the darkness to the light, and here
Mhm.
we are. At least they will meet us, and I believe everyone who is listening to us are on the same path. I thank you from the core of my heart for being my guest. I truly enjoyed, and I hope you did too.
Thank you so much. Yes, it was a pleasure. And as you know already, that I always love talking to you, and I really, really enjoy whatever like the work you're doing. It's really, I mean, good to see that people like you are on the same mission. Like, as you said, that helping people, you are spreading this positive message. And it's like, our missions are quite aligned. And that's why I always enjoy our interaction. So thank you
Yes,
so much for having me.
it's my absolute pleasure. We will leave the link for your book in
Sure.
the comments, and tell us
Thank you.
just quickly where people can find you and how they can reach out to you if they
Yeah,
wish.
the best platform is LinkedIn because I'm
Mm,
very active on LinkedIn.
mhm,
And my website is thepsychologytalks.com. They can
mhm.
actually go through and go there and check my latest whatever blogs and whatever like the latest maybe webinar or coming. So I'll just post there. But the best platform is LinkedIn because I'm very active there.
And actually, we met there. So, yes,
Yes.
definitely. Thank
Yes,
you once
definitely.
again. I wish you a lovely day, and
Thank
we
you.
will see each other soon. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.